Beneath the Willow. In the quaint town of Willow Creek, where the sun-drenched fields met the edge of a shimmering lake, there stood an ancient willow tree. Its branches draped gracefully over the water, creating a secluded haven where secrets whispered among rustling leaves. It was here that Amy often came to escape the world, to gather her thoughts and sketch the beauty that surrounded her. One afternoon, as the golden light filtered through the willow's branches, Amy noticed a figure sitting on the bank, an unfamiliar girl with sun-kissed skin and a cascade of chestnut curls. She was sketching too, lost in her own world, and Amy felt an immediate spark of curiosity. "Mind if I join you?" Amy asked, her heart racing slightly as she approached. The girl looked up, her hazel eyes brightening with surprise and warmth. "Not at all. I'm Clara," she replied, a smile breaking across her face like dawn. As they began to share their sketches, Amy found that Clara's artwork was as enchanting as the girl herself. She captured not only the landscapes around them but also the emotions that rippled through the air. The joy of blooming flowers, the melody of the wind, and the softness of light. Days turned into weeks, and those afternoons beneath the willow became their ritual. They laughed, shared stories, and opened up about their dreams. Each moment spent together was woven with threads of unspoken feelings and blushing glances. Amy's heart danced to a rhythm she had never known before, a melody composed by Clara's laughter, and the way her eyes sparkled like stars. One evening, the setting sun painted the sky in hues of pink and orange, and the world around them felt enchanted. Clara's voice broke the comfortable silence. "Do you believe in the magic of places?" she asked, her tone thoughtful. "Absolutely," Amy replied. "Especially here, under this willow. It feels like a world of its own." Clara smiled softly, her gaze drifting towards the horizon. "I think it's because of who we share it with," she murmured, a hint of vulnerability in her voice. Amy's heart raced. She had longed to articulate her feelings, but finding the right words felt daunting. As if reading her thoughts, Clara turned to her, sincerity etched on her face. "I've grown to care for you, Amy. More than I ever expected." "I feel the same," Amy admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "You've become my favorite part of every day." In that moment, time stood still. The world melted away as Amy and Clara leaned into each other, the space between them sparking with electricity. A gentle kiss followed, tentative yet filled with promise. A sweet connection that spoke of budding love and endless possibilities. From that day forward, the willow tree became their sanctuary. The soft rustle of its leaves bore witness to stolen kisses, whispered dreams, and a love that blossomed like the wildflowers that surrounded them. Together, they navigated the challenges of their reality, always returning to the peace they found under the willow. As seasons changed and they grew closer, Amy and Clara would often find themselves painting their future, envisioning a life where they could share every sunrise and sunset, every joy and sorrow side by side. With hearts intertwined, they discovered not just love, but a shared journey that was full of laughter, passion, and the beauty of being truly seen. In the heart of Willow Creek, beneath the ancient willow, a love story unfolded. One that would be cherished among the leaves, whispered by the wind, and forever etched in the vibrant colors of their shared dreams. I hope you enjoyed this romantic story. Let me know if you'd like any adjustments or further details. As the summer days turned into autumn, the landscape transformed into a tapestry of warm hues, golden yellows, burnt oranges, and deep reds. Each weekend, Amy and Clara continued to meet under the willow, wrapped in cozy sweaters, the crisp air only adding to their warmth. With every passing moment, their bond deepened, composed of laughter, creativity, and the undeniable thrill of young love. One Saturday, they planned a picnic beneath the sprawling branches. Clara arrived first, spreading a soft blanket on the grassy ground and arranging an array of homemade treats: sandwiches, fruit, and Clara's famous brownies, still warm and gooey. As she set everything out, the sunlight cast a gentle glow through the leaves, creating a mosaic of light and shadow. When Amy finally arrived, her eyes sparkled with delight at the sight of Clara's cheerful setup. "You've outdone yourself," she exclaimed, spreading her arms in awe. Clara chuckled, her cheeks dusted with pink. "I just wanted today to be special," she said, her voice light yet tinged with something more profound. As they settled down to eat, they chatted about art, their dreams of traveling to distant lands, and the houses they envisioned living in one day. each detail adding vibrant strokes to the canvas of their imagination. "Where would you love to paint?" Amy asked, her curiosity piqued. "Anywhere that speaks to my heart," Clara mused. "Maybe the cliffs of Santorini, or the fields of lavender in Provence. But honestly, if I'm with you, I could paint anywhere." The way she said it made Amy's heart swell. She reached over and squeezed Clara's hand, feeling the warmth radiate between them. It was a simple gesture, yet it spoke volumes. The comfort and love that enveloped them felt like a cozy blanket against the chill of the approaching winter. But as the days grew shorter and the evenings darker, Amy noticed a shift in Clara. There were moments when her laughter would falter, and her gaze would drift into the distance as if shadows clouded her mind. Amy wanted to reach out to understand what was bothering her, but Clara would quickly shrug it off, insisting she was simply tired from school. One afternoon, as they sat together sketching the setting sun, Clara's silence weighed heavily in the air. Unable to bear the unease any longer, Amy finally spoke, her voice soft but steady. "Clara, you know you can share anything with me, right? I can see something is bothering you." Clara paused, her pencil hovering above the paper as she gathered her thoughts. Finally, she sighed and placed her sketchbook down. "I guess I've been thinking a lot about our future. I want so much for us, but—" She hesitated, fidgeting with her fingers, a sign of her inner turmoil. "But," Amy prompted, her heart echoing the unspoken fears in Clara's gaze. "But I worry about what others will think of us, how it will affect us. I love what we have, this beautiful connection. But the world isn't always kind, you know." Clara's voice trembled slightly, revealing the vulnerability she had hidden beneath her bright exterior. Amy felt her heart ache for Clara, understanding the weight of her worries. They had both faced the reality of a world that often struggled to accept love in its many forms. Leaning closer, she took Clara's hands in hers, feeling the warmth and strength between them. "I choose you, Clara. Every day I would choose you, even with the uncertainties ahead. We're stronger together, and love is worth fighting for." Tears glistened in Clara's eyes as she searched Amy's face for reassurance. "You really mean that?" "Always," Amy promised, wiping away the single tear that escaped Clara's eye. "No matter what comes our way, we will navigate it together, just like we do in every sketch we create." Clara smiled through her tears, her heart swelling with affection as she saw the unwavering conviction in Amy's gaze. In that moment, they reaffirmed their commitment not only to each other, but to embrace whatever challenges lay ahead, hand in hand. As autumn deepened, they spent every spare moment together, carving pumpkins, visiting local art galleries, and laughing over hot cups of cocoa. They shared not just their dreams but also their fears and hopes, growing ever closer. For every storm they encountered, they learned to dance in the rain. Weeks later, in early November, the annual Willow Creek Festival approached, a celebration of lights and local art, filled with music, lanterns, and joy. Clara and Amy decided to showcase a joint art display, combining their styles to convey their journey together. The day of the festival arrived, and their exhibit was a myriad of colors, capturing the essence of their love story, the warmth of their laughter, the beauty of vulnerability, and the promise of a shared future. People admired their work, commenting on the depth and emotion that radiated from the canvases. As night fell and lanterns illuminated the festival, Clara took Amy's hand, pulling her away from the crowd. They made their way to a quiet spot by the lake, where the water shimmered under the moonlight. "Amy, I want to ask you something," Clara said, her voice steady yet filled with anticipation. "Anything," Amy replied, her heart racing. Clara took a deep breath. "Will you take this leap with me? No matter what happens in the future, will you keep creating our story together?" With tears of joy sparkling in her eyes, Amy nodded fervently. "Yes, 1,000 times yes." Clara's face lit up like the stars above. In that moment, enveloped in each other's warmth, they sealed their promise with a kiss, a gentle mingling of dreams and desires beneath the watchful gaze of the willow, as if the very earth celebrated the love that blossomed between them. From that day on, under their cherished willow, Amy and Clara wrote the chapters of their story together, learning to embrace both the challenges and the beauty that life had in store for them, always hand in hand, with love leading the way. I hope you enjoyed this continuation. Let me know if you'd like to explore more or enhance any part of the story further. As the winter months settled in, A soft blanket of snow began to cover Willow Creek, transforming the town into a picturesque winter wonderland. The willow tree stood strong against the cold, its branches weighed down by snowflakes, offering a stark yet beautiful contrast to the ever-changing seasons of their lives. Amy and Clara continued to nurture their relationship, embarking on new creative projects and sharing dreams as they huddled together under thick blankets. They often ventured outside, wrapped in scarves and mittens, laughing like children as they built snowmen and had snowball fights. But amidst the joy, Clara still carried the weight of her earlier worries, the fear of how their love would be received outside their little bubble. One afternoon, while sipping hot cocoa by the fireplace, Clara broke the comfortable silence. "I've been thinking a lot about my art school applications. They're due soon, and what if they don't accept me? What if I'm not good enough?" Amy set her cup down and scooted closer, taking Clara's hands in her own. "Clara, you are incredible. You've shown me so much beauty through your art. If you want this, don't let fear hold you back. Just remember that no matter what happens, I believe in you more than anything." Clara smiled, though uncertainty still lingered in her eyes. "And what if they don't accept us?" she asked softly. Amy paused, deliberately choosing her words. "Then we will create our own path. We will continue to make art together wherever we end up. Besides, love doesn't conform to merely fitting into someone else's expectations." Clara felt warmth spread through her, yet fear still echoed. "I just don't want to lose you or our closeness because of what the world thinks." "You won't," Amy promised, her voice fierce with conviction. "We've faced every challenge together so far. Remember the festival? We can take on anything as long as we're together." With renewed resolve, Clara began preparing her applications, pouring her heart into her submissions, combining their stories into a vivid tapestry. Amy, in turn, spent countless evenings helping Clara refine her portfolio, ensuring that every piece showcased Clara's unique spirit and strength. As the submission deadline approached, Clara found her apprehension growing. The night before she submitted her applications, she felt restless. "What if they say no?" Clara voiced, a tremor in her voice. Amy pulled her close, wrapping her arms around Clara in a soothing embrace. "Then we keep going. Together. Look at how far we've come. You are more than enough, no matter what happens." With her heart racing, Clara leaned her forehead against Amy's, feeling the warmth of her presence. "Thank you for always believing in me," she whispered, feeling overwhelmed yet grateful. After a long night, Clara decided it was time to submit her applications. They sat together as Clara clicked the final button, sealing her submissions. As relief washed over Clara, a surge of excitement followed. They celebrated with another round of hot cocoa, laughter pouring forth as they envisioned their future. Weeks went by, and the snow began to melt, signaling the arrival of spring. Clara focused on her art while Amy continued to support her every step of the way. Their love grew stronger, a beautiful tapestry woven with trust, creativity, and understanding. One sunny afternoon, Clara received an email from her top-choice art school. Her heart raced as she opened it, reading the words that changed everything. "Congratulations! We are pleased to offer you a spot in our program." Squealing with joy, she jumped around the room, her heart soaring as she pulled Amy into a tight embrace. "I did it! I got in!" Tears of happiness streamed down their faces as they celebrated, spinning around in circles, joy bubbling over. In that moment, all of Clara's fears melted away, replaced by exhilaration and hope for their future. As spring blossomed around them, they spent more time under their beloved willow. One evening, as the sun dipped low on the horizon, splashing golds and pinks across the sky, Clara took Amy's hands and looked deep into her eyes. "Amy, you've been my rock through all of this. I can't imagine my life without you. I want you by my side as I take this next step in my journey," Clara said, her voice thick with emotion. "I'll always be by your side," Amy assured, her heart swelling as she spoke. "No matter where your art takes you, we'll create our path together." As the sun set and the stars began to twinkle above, they shared their dreams once more. A life filled with art, love, and adventure. In that moment, Clara leaned in and kissed Amy softly, the world around them fading into bliss. As the seasons continued to change, they embraced the beauty of life's uncertainties, knowing that with every brush stroke and every heartbeat, they were writing their own story, one of resilience, love, and the promise of a bright future. And as the years unfolded, under the canopy of their cherished Willow, Amy and Clara discovered the true meaning of love, that it is a journey, an ever-evolving masterpiece painted together, and that no matter the circumstances, love always finds a way to flourish.